So we've got an 8100 we're working on today, and this customer's got two 3-point cylinders that are leaking. You can see right there the oil's been running down the back side there, and you can see all the oil build up around it. So we're going to go ahead and get those fixed for them. We're going to go ahead and pull our quick touch off right here, and then we're going to pull the arm off the top here, and we're going to let it drop down to the ground then, and then we'll pull our pin out of the top of the cylinder here, and we'll lean it back and we'll pull all the guts out of it. We're going to leave the bottom part attached, and we'll get all the seals changed in it. Pins are coming out pretty good so far, which is good. Sometimes these things, if they don't get used very much, they can get froze up. Go ahead and move this one to the side, get it out of the way. These things are heavy, so don't try to manhandle them off of the tractor, that's for sure. Now we'll take the top one off. They got a cotter pin holding the pin in place. See if these will knock out of there pretty easy. I've had to use an air hammer before on these because they get frozen in there. Cut that one out. Set that on the ground and get that out of the way. Do the same thing for this other side. Now we just got the two pins that hold the actual 3-point cylinder on. There's a washer that holds that pin in on the side. Right here's a washer with a bolt holding that in there. I want to say that's a 16 millimeter holding that one in. 16 millimeter holding those in. Now we'll try to drive the pin towards the outside. So you can see here's that washer holding in there. Okay, there goes our pin for that one. Do the same for this one. See there, our arm come out, our cylinder come out. There's enough resistance on this upper arm here to keep it up out of the way. We're gonna clean all that area off real good, and then we'll start disassembling it. So we're ready to take the guide part. There is a nut here on the outside that pulls the guide up against the snap ring on the inside to keep it in place. A lot of times when you go to try to take the nut off of here, it'll want to spin the whole guide inside there. So I always like to take an air hammer with a chisel on the end. I try not to use one that's got a sharp edge on it, and then we use vibration to break that nut loose from the guide itself. You just gotta be careful you don't damage the nut itself. Then we'll take it off. You can see there's oil starting to come out from where it was leaking. I like to take a zip tie to hold up this nut so it's not getting in the way as you're trying to get the guide out. So after you get the nut off, I like to clean everything up good. There is a orange filler ring in there from when it was assembled last. So then we need to drive the guide in so we can get the snap ring removed. And sometimes it can be in there kind of hard too. So I like to use the air hammer to vibrate it down in there. You just gotta be careful. Go ahead and see if we can vibrate this guide down. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't take much, and sometimes they don't want to come out of there very good. So next, there's a snap ring on the inside here. I usually just use 2 screwdrivers and just pop it up out of there. Then if it's not too rusty inside here, we can get this thing pulled out of here with no trouble. And if it's a pain in the butt, sometimes we got to hook the crane on it to get it to pop out of there. There we go, just like that. So then we'll need to clean the bore out here, make sure there's no rust and corroded metal there, and make sure we got a good clean bore on the inside, and we'll get the seals and stuff changed on it. So on these 8000 series tractors, if you go to the parts and you're looking to get seal kits for these, you'll notice that there is multiple different serial number brakes as well as different size cylinders, and that is due to the lift capacity that the tractor was ordered with. So if you look at both them cylinders, you can notice that that cylinder there is bigger around than what that one over there is. And so that one there is an 80 millimeter, and I think this one here is a 90. And they do that to get a certain lift capacity. I want to say this one's around 14,500, I think, is what the combined lift capacity is on this one. So you really got to watch that when you go to get seal kits. And you can see that the actual rod is a different size on these two, and the nut on top here is different. This one here takes a 1 13/16 inches, where the nut on this one is 1 3/4 inches. So you got to really watch that when you go to install seal kits. So we'll go ahead and take this one off. This one here is our left-hand cylinder. This is the bigger cylinder here. Got an 1 13/16 inches socket with our 3/4 Milwaukee here. pretty tight. Get us a little absorbent pad here to lay our parts on. Here's our piston, and then here is our guide. We'll really want to make sure and check out the condition of the rod. If there's any kind of nicks or burrs, or where the chrome is starting to flake off, the seals will not hold. They may for temporarily, but they will it'll cut the seal, and then you'll have a leak again. That one looks in pretty good shape. We'll go ahead and disassemble all of our seals here. Just want to make sure and remember how everything goes back together, because orientation does matter. That seal here is all deteriorated, pretty brittle. Same with this one, it's just falling apart. The very top wiper seal here has got a metal edge on it. So I just take a punch and knock it in. Now there is a wear ring in here as well. Normally it's easy just to split it multiple places. So after I got all the seals out of it, you can see it's all kind of rusty in there. I like taking a wire wheel on a die grinder to clean up all that rust inside there, because if there's rust inside there, it won't seal up very good. So we'll get them all cleaned up. I like to do the outside as well with a wire brush. So we've got our seal kits here. This is for the 100 millimeter cylinder, and the other one's a 90. Part number is a AHC 16954, and that is for the rod kit, and then for the internal seals. The external seals is an AHC 19978. That's for the 100 millimeter. So we'll go ahead and start installing our seals. So you got to fold it over like that and then try to get it shoved in there and collapse just enough. There we go. See how that is right there? Now we'll just tap it in there. There we go. That's the hardest part about doing these, is changing that. Some guys won't change them because of that reason, but I always like to change them because if they got to wear any wear at all, that rod can move back and forth and that can cause your leak then. There's our wiper seal. Here's our main oil seal. That one, your spring side always goes towards the oil pressure, so this one's going to go sit down in there like this. This one's actually going to sit in there just like that as well on the bottom side. I always just tap these in with a hammer and a small punch. Just like that. Then we'll flip it over. This one will go down in there. We'll get some grease. I just use some of the white lithium grease when assembling these seals like this. Sometimes you got to give a little persuasion to get them in there because they're kind of stiff. Just got to make sure you don't cut the seal. This one's got a little extra white ring that goes on the inside. Okay, so the center section of that's all done now. We just need to add our outside seals. Backup ring always goes away from the pressure, so it'll go on there first. Just like that. So we went ahead and put our seals on our piston here. Now we're going to lube up the guide seals real good, so then we can assemble onto the shaft here. Sets on there, and our bolt will go on there, and we'll tighten our bolt up then. Good and tight. We're ready to assemble this onto the cylinder itself on the tractor now. We'll go ahead and install this. I've got it lubed up good. We got it good and clean as well. Use a mallet to tap it in there. Same with the guide there. Got it far enough down in there now we can install our snap ring in the snap ring groove. Once it's in the snap ring groove, we can pull our back out, make sure it seats good. And we can install our nut here on the outside. And we'll tighten it up. Good and tight. We're ready to install this now. Back up in the 3-point arm. So we're ready to put these cylinders back up in here. I went ahead and put some never sees on the areas that don't get any grease. The center part gets grease, but the outside edges don't. So I like to go ahead and put some grease on there just to help from the next time someone has to take them apart. We gotta remember to put our little washer in the slot, and we gotta make sure that the pin is turned in the right direction. This one needs to be turned down just a little bit. We'll put our bolt in there and then we'll tighten up that bolt. Just like that. That side's good to go. Now we'll do the other side. So we went ahead and got our arms installed. We've got our hoses connected here. All of our joints. We're putting never sees on so that they don't freeze up for the next person that has to take them apart. So we're ready to put on the quick hitch now. So we'll get it assembled and then we'll run up the hitch multiple times to get all the air out of the system, and then we'll be done.